What is the government going to do about the protests on April 5th? I can tell you from experience. The sheriffs backed down. We took the bridge and darkness started settling in, and we went to the encampment. Everybody needed a place to stay because the road was closed. And I am telling you right now, on April 5th, there's going to be agitators. And I'm telling you right now, they are feds or they are people hired by feds.
So I received loads of messages, people asking me to make more videos about the hands-off protest that will be happening on Saturday, April 5th. Now, I know that I did a video about the protest some days ago, white people asking black people to stand down. Having seen those messages, I decided to make more videos. So stay glued on this channel. Now, I just want us to have a look at this video right here. Now, this man is basically telling what's going to happen on the 5th of April. Stay with me, guys. Let's just see this video. And of course, I'm going to show you some screenshots of comments, perhaps, because he said he has experienced such before. But I thought to share this video with you. Check it out.
What is the government going to do about the protests on April 5th? I can tell you from experience, having organized and participated in countless protests. I was at Standing Rock, and the Lakota Sioux had called for veterans to come join them to stop the DAPL pipeline. Veterans showed up en masse. I was one of those veterans. We were tasked with taking the bridge from the sheriff's office because the encampment near the bridge had been cut off to vehicle traffic, and so over 1,000 veterans marched on that bridge in a whiteout snowstorm. Some people didn't even march. They were in wheelchairs. The sheriffs backed down. We took the bridge and darkness started settling in, and we went to the encampment. Everybody needed a place to stay because the road was closed, okay? No vehicles could come or go. Emergency vehicles couldn't come. Nobody could come through. Part of the reason was the weather. Part of the reason was, I think, that it was their way of kettling us kind of in a dangerous situation because temperatures dropped below 30, 40 degrees below zero. I mean, it was very, very fucking cold. And nobody could get out. So we were stuck at this camp. So we all started huddling in tents. There were agitators at that protest, and they were inciting violence. They were encouraging violent protests for the next day. And one of the elders kicked the man out of the tent. And it's like dark. There's no way to get out of this encampment. It's very cold. And I was like, man, this guy's going to die. Like, we can't really kick him out. You know what I mean? He's going to perish in the cold. And a lot of people were saying that. And she said, no, they'll come pick him up. And I'm like, they? Who's they? Sure enough, he walked to the road and someone came and picked him up. His friends, the people that paid him to come into that encampment and agitate. They were allowed to drive on that road. It was all organized by them, the agitation. And I am telling you right now, on April 5th, there's going to be agitators. And I'm telling you right now, they are feds or they are people hired by feds, okay? So if you see somebody inciting violence, I need you to film them. I need you to film them and call them out. Tell them they're a fed. Tell them they're an agitator. Tell them they're an outsider and film them. And if you follow them long enough, you'll see them get into a police vehicle. Mark my words. So whatever you do, do not fall for it. There can be no violence on April 5th.
Now, this is exactly why the black community are trying to avoid this protest. Because if it goes left, they are going to say that black people, caused the whole thingy. Some people also are saying or asking, because I saw some videos, people are asking, who even faced this protest to be on the 5th of April? Because TikTok is going to be banned on that day, same day, April 5th. So people are asking, is it like a coincidence or what? I'm just saying, because this is what I read in some comment sections and few videos that I have seen. Now, of course, when you go out to protest, there are people, because the videos that I have seen, they are saying that it's going to be a peaceful protest. Now, I know that some people would coming and, start creating scene and destroying properties and all of that. So he is saying basically, when you see them, record them, because I don't know what's going to happen, but people really need to be watchful, okay, and be very mindful and careful out there on the 5th of April, being tomorrow, Saturday. So people stitched his video, which I have put them together. Let's just hear what they said in regards to his video. And of course, I'm going to show you some screenshots of comments. I think that he's trying to give people, kind of heads up so they know what's going to probably happen on that day. Check the stitches out.
Somebody inciting violence, I need you to film them. I need you to film them and call them out.
Okay, if you go back and watch the whole video, they start off talking about Standing Rock. I was there, 3 different times. I'm a veteran. I went back for the veterans thing. So even with the description of what happened this isn't an accurate description of what happened. Like Native veterans were having meetings the whole way before all the white veterans and non-Native veterans got there, So I just wanted to acknowledge that part. And then I want to acknowledge, don't do this. This is bad information. Okay. You don't go up to anyone who's crazy or acting crazy, who seems like they're an agitator and they're talking about violence. The worst thing you can do is go up to them and engage with them. You're going to get your clock cleaned. And that would be the least of it. You're putting yourself at great danger. You're putting yourself in potentially lethal danger doing that. It's bad information. You don't engage with people that are just off their rockers and really upset. It's never going to go well, especially if you're going to go up there with a Karen attitude and a phone. And you're like, you're not going to blah, blah, blah. This whole thing, this is a script that we get, right? I used to believe these things that they're talking about because that's what they tell us in training over and over at these liberal organizations. So they tell us over and over and over again, this script. You see that with Trump supporters too, right? On January 6th, anyone doing anything they didn't like, they were an outside agitator, they were a Fed, they were undercover Antifa, whatever, they would make up shit like this about their own people to explain away the behavior of their own people. This April 5th, just mind your own fucking business. That's all you got to do. The cops you don't have to record shit. The cops have drones. They're going to have everything fucking recorded. They got undercover people in the crowd. They got do-gooders in the crowd. You're not, it's a bad idea to go full Karen at a protest. We need solidarity. We need solidarity between all the groups that are against Trump. We need some kind of solidarity. And so we really got to come together on tactics. Or there's always going to be this split. And I don't know. I go back and forth on, I will accept any tactics that don't hurt another human being or a small business. That's the fucking limit for me. But see, even that here in Portland is probably not good enough for the people around here. And then sometimes I want absolute peace at my protests or fun. And I don't like white people coming to my, an indigenous event and then just pissing all over it. And I'm no angel. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of fucking flaws and things to work on. I'm not saying I'm some kind of fucking role model or something. I'm just saying dude, I've been doing this a minute and I never quit since Standing Rock. And I was going to all the protests, all the kinds, the right-wing ones, the left-wing ones, all of them. And I saw what happened at all of them. And I can tell you what this person is saying is inaccurate and dangerous for your safety.
What is the government going to do about the protests on April 5th? I can tell you from experience,
If you are planning on protesting in Atlanta on April the 5th, I need to remind you what happened during the 2020 George Floyd protests in Atlanta. What happened was the protest was marching peacefully, and then they ended up outside of the CNN Center. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Atlanta and the structure of it, the CNN Center is directly across from the World Congress Center. So that is, and that's also where the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is. And there is a police center right there also. And so what happens is what happened was they went in to the CNN Center because they wanted media coverage. They wanted free media coverage, and they figured if they went outside of the CNN Center, people would just point cameras out of their window. And what happened was they were caterwauled into that city center, essentially. They were held there for 3 hours. They were not allowed to leave. No one was allowed to come or go. They were stuck for 3 whole hours. Medical emergencies were ignored. People who were dehydrated were ignored. People who were having medical emergencies were ignored. They kept them there for 3 whole hours during the George Floyd protest because their goal was to incite violence within the protest. And people got angry, and some people started vandalizing the CNN Center because they were so frustrated that they could not get out that they started acting out. This is what they do, okay? This is their entire MO. Their whole purpose during protest is to agitate protesters into acts of violence, into acts of vagrancy, into acts of literally anything. They do this to turn you into villains. You can't allow them to do this, okay? Do not pick up bricks. That is always put there by agitators. You cannot give way to what they are doing to disrupt these protests. They are there to call you violent. They want you to be disruptive. They want you to do things that are so against societal norms that they can villainize you in the media. Do not let them do that.
And I am telling you right now, on April 5th, there's going to be agitators.
If you plan on being out there April 5th, I definitely recommend watching this person's video. People at the Standing Rock rally for the Dapple Pipeline had explained how there were a lot of paid agitators there to incite riot. And I'm telling you right now that April 5th, just like they said, there will be agitators there. They'll be working against everyone who is there to protest and rally together to try and incite violence and chaos and riots. Do not let them. In fact, as they say in their video, you should record every single one of them. But they may be dressed like everybody else, so how do you... Well, that's really easy. Look for the assholes who are trying to start violence. Look for the assholes who are trying to create chaos. Don't let them fucking do it. Make this a peaceful protest. See you there April 5th.
The people that paid him to come into that encampment and agitate.
In 2020, there were agitators as well. And they were not part of our groups, but the media outlets portrayed them to be. So in Seattle, they had the Proud Boys, they had other people, other groups, other agitators within the groups that showed up. They were setting cars on fire, they were throwing water bottles at police, they were instigating the people around them, they were breaking business windows. Don't touch the bricks. There will be bricks placed strategically in what looks like construction zones. They're not. There will be people around there too that are like amping you up, okay? Because they're hoping that in a moment of heated emotion that you will get so mad that you touch the brick and you break the window, okay? That, like, there will be agitators. And they're not just counter-protesters, okay? These are going to be people that are inside your groups. These are going to be people that are placed there. They're plants. They're not part of your group. They're not for the cause, but they'll act like it. This much. With 50501, we are committed to nonviolence. So our groups, the people around you, the people in the de-escalation teams and the first aid teams, your leads in your groups will guide you. There will be trained people at these events that can help with the agitators and the de-escalation. Just be safe, like be smart. Mind your P's and Q's, because there will be people there to instigate you. There almost always is. When it's a big one, I'm excited about it. Like I'm ready. I've been ready. I've been waiting. Don't touch the bricks.
What is the government going to do about the protests on April 5th?
So no shade to the creator at all. I think that they did a fantastic job in outlining their experience and the tactics that are used, because they're 100% correct. Like, agitators do exist. And if you are in a mass protest like that and you do see somebody instigating, be absolutely err on the side of caution with those individuals, because they're more than likely cops. However, because this particular demonstration is happening on a weekend, probably not a whole lot is going to happen. I too have had my fair share of organizing and being involved with protests, and typically protests that are on weekends are kind of like parades. They're more for morale. They're more for people to not feel so alone in their rage and in their level of disgust with the government. I think it behooves any mutual aid group, any community group, anybody thinking about getting into that, talk to people. Do not leave a 5,000 person protest, a 10,000 person protest without, meeting and exchanging contact information with at least 5 to 10 people, at least. Because we cannot just participate in these things and then go home and expect our government to give a shit. They don't. Years of protesting on a Saturday has proven this. Please call their offices. Please email the shit out of them. But don't do it because you think it's going to change their mind. Don't do it because you think it's going to force their hand, because it won't. But what it does do is make their jobs just a little bit harder. I mean, it stresses out their staff just a little bit more. And at the very fucking least, they deserve that shit. So, absolutely be aware and utilize safety tactics as much as you can. Bring a buddy. Absolutely. Protect your information. More than likely is what I have seen cops do is just set up a stingray device and they scoop up as much information from cell phones as they can. So, like, if you are able to, keep your cell phone home. Wear a mask, please, because I've definitely seen cops standing on the tops of buildings with camcorders, and they're just recording as many people as they can. And I don't know whether they feed that into facial recognition software or, they're just making a database. But it is in our best interest to avoid getting arrested, especially right now. So if you are thinking about participating in an action where the arrest is the point and to make a stand, please don't. I think right now we need to be very thoughtful of handing ourselves over to the state, especially under this administration, because all bets are off, even here in California. Just be safe, take care of each other, and be smart.
Okay, so I took some screenshots of comments from his comment section so you guys can see, what other people dropped in his comment section. You can please pause to read this comment, but I'm going to read out some for you. So this comment says, also POC and African Americans, if you all choose to wear boots on the ground, please understand, all skin folk and king folk. Neutralize the agitators that appear to look like us. I'm telling you. Okay, the second comment says, do you bring phones or not? Now this person is asking if she's going to come, with her phones, record with her phone. And the creator says, I wouldn't record with the camera or a GoPro. So I feel that, it is very important, people have enough information so you know what to do. So like some of them said in the videos, there might be people that would, try to instigate fights, chaos, or, violence. Please do not engage. Okay. I think again, it is very important you gather enough information and try as much as possible not to be alone. Like, I don't know, I'm really, hoping that, it's going to be peaceful and, people will not get injured or something. Yeah. So this comment right here says, I always remember the big dude systematically busting windows out with a hammer. Legit protesters were like, stop. And he started yelling like a cop. The next comment says, don't forget to wear facial coverings, cover your tattoos or distinguishable markings. Wear your sunglasses, cover up. So this comment says, TikTok ban and mass march on the same day, April 5th. Definitely not a coincidence. The next comment says, everything I see says not to bring your phone, to the protest. Now, the creator responded and says, that's definitely a strategy. It's not wrong. If you have an older model offline phone, you can use that or a digital camera. We would need cameras on site. Anyways, you can please pause to read the rest of the comments. I just thought to make this video. Like I said, people were sending messages to me, asking me to make more videos, about the protest. So let me know what you all think in the comment section, what you have to say. And thank you so much for watching. Please gather more information. Make sure you read and see some videos so you will be informed. Okay, so you know what others are doing. I hope and pray that, it's gonna go peacefully. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course, come back for another one. I'm gonna see y'all in my next video. Much love. Bye.